Good evening, Packmates. I'm gonna try to be more cautious of my mic this time around. Apologies for last time, that was a little bit crazy. This week, I predict we will have Vash kidnapping and Knives return. Feeling pretty good, pretty high off that last episode. Let's hope we can maintain this. Also, I will be transforming before your very eyes. I have been feeling chopped and also lately. I just got new glasses, and I think they're working for me very well. Next week, I will have a haircut and a dye job. You won't even be able to recognize me. Anyway, take my hand. Let's begin. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. That's a lot of plants. I don't know why I thought they just had a couple.
みんなを守るって決めたから。
敵を殺すこともできひん甘ちゃんやのにか。
葬儀屋さん、目は大丈夫なんですか？
What's in the bags, fellas?
大体見えてる。
それは？
倉庫で見つけた閃光弾や。
バイクもあったんですよ。
So that's where the motorcycle comes from.
悔しいけど。
Yeah, do any of us?
そんな相手にどうやって勝つ？
It's not gonna be good.
僕がやれることを精一杯やってみるよ。
連れ去られることになってもか。そしたらナイブスが目覚めて、ここで殺しとくべきかもしれへんな。オンドレを。ノーマンズランドは無事に移民船団の到着を待つことができる。なあ、とんがり。
The way the plant looks like the moon behind him. This is a volume 6 reference.
自分で葬儀するってまさに自作自演ですね。
玉や玉。
あ、はい。
ほんの冗談や。
ですよね。本フリークさんが言ってましたもんね。
Kidding, and yet what he said was logical, right? It was an amount of logic taken to the extreme, but the fact is they can't afford to let Legato get Vash. They can't afford for Knives to come back. It would almost be best for Vash to just run, but wherever he goes, he will probably be found. So maybe the best place to take a stand is indeed this ship with these people and these fortifications. With Trimax Wolfwood, there's definitely a huge sense of his fear of Vash, and he puts Vash at gunpoint many times and considers killing him, but it's never this. It's never this. Let me see if I can articulate the differences here. So, Wolfwood has a point here that there's a very immediate threat if Vash gets kidnapped. Right now, they have no knives. If they get Vash, Knives will come back. Killing Vash would, for all intents and purposes, kill Knives and get rid of both of them. That's never a scenario that happens in the manga. Wolfwood is just so afraid of Vash and Knives because he, more than anybody, really, more than anybody alive, has seen the things that both of them are capable of and has held both of them at gunpoint and desperately considered pulling the trigger to get one of these walking nuclear bombs off of the planet. However, with Knives, he's too afraid. With Vash, he just can't. And killing Vash in Trimax puts everyone at the mercy of Knives. Vash is, I think, as Brad or Sensei once said, like the only thing capable of standing between Knives and humanity's destruction. And you don't get that sense in this version of Trigun. We have not really seen Vash do anything powerful. We've barely even seen him succeed at anything or do much sharpshooting or talk anybody down or befriend his enemies. We haven't seen him do a lot of those core Vash things. And so it's hard to trust him. Not that he is untrustworthy, but Trimax Vash feels reliable. When he says nobody's going to die, for the most part, you believe him because he's not just talk. I fear that this Stampede Vash is so much more passive. Not that he acts passively, but more like the story does not let him be as active of a protagonist as he needs to be in order for us to believe in him.
大丈夫ですミリー。葬儀屋さんは友達を手にかけるなんてしませんよ。ですよね。2年以上バッシュさんを探し回っていたのも。ええ、友達だからです。
ワイは何も言うてへんで。勝手に話をまとめんな。
ありがとうウルフット。
何の例や。ワイは何も言
I
うてへん。
would like to see more
来た。
everybody lock in. It's fun and cute that they're teasing Wolfwood about being friends with Vash and that he won't admit that they're friends, but it's telling me and not showing me. Allies, yes. Working together in a fight, sure. I don't know that I've seen much that shows me that they're friends. They're not out at the bar together. They're not ragging on each other. They're not teasing each other. They're not beating each other up for fun. Wolfwood's not shooting rubber bands at Vash for no reason. They're not going out to dinner and playing with the kids, you know? I wonder if there's part of Vash that wants, bad as it is, that wants to bring knives back. Death Star moment.
SSC 破損シールド消えます。
あれが箱舟。迎撃せよ。
What's their explanation in this version for calling it the Ark? I wonder. Well, that was easy.
ここで落とす。ローマンズランドを守るために。
It is very beautiful. The animation, I mean.
バリア消費する。
Just run right to the guy, why don't you?
バッシュ・ザ・スタンピード。自ら神であることを捨てた愚か者。ナイブス様を目覚めさせるためとはいえ、貴様のような奴が必要だなんて不愉快だね。ほら、
Some very obvious framing here of Vash in the light and Legato in the
行くわ
dark.
けにはいかないんだ。わかるだろ。
どうするつもり
Yeah,
だ
unless Vash is gonna shoot him in the armor leg, pointing the gun at him is completely useless. Wolfwood versus Gray, okay. Did not predict that for this episode, but I will not complain. This was a very fun fight. Yep, crushing him with the door.
すまんな。やんちゃやろワイ。
Wolfwood,
置いたばっかしよ。
for free.
もうたくさんや思ても多分出られへん地獄
The
や。
outer road tastes like the outer road. Am I right?
けったいな田舎人間さらしよって。幕引いたな。大根や。
That was the Desperado shot. Oh! That crater was so big. That's gotta be every broken bone.
しゃあない。
He's only got 3 left. And I know what he uses those last 2 for. Where's Livio?
どうした？撃たないのか？
それ以上近づいたら本当に撃つ。
僕を止めたければここだ。
Beautiful shot.
遊びの時間は終わりだ。
But it's
連れて行ってやる。神の
hollow. I think what's not working here is that Vash is so inactive. In Trimax, he's not passive. He moves, he makes decisions, he makes choices. And those choices are ones of pacifism, but he is moving. He's causing things, he's affecting things. There's a reason we follow him, there's a reason we root for him. This Vash is just so ineffective. It's making the pacifism look bad. Because it's equating pacifism with inactivity and ineffectiveness, which is specifically not what Vash does in Trimax. That is so core to him. That is something that gets hashed out with him and Wolfwood in like volume 1, Trimax volume 1, after Trigun Ultimate. He is moving, he is saving people, he is putting his immortal body on the line to keep other people safe. Taking beatings, he's risking his life to save his enemy. He is such an active pacifist, and that's what makes you believe in him. Stargaze Vash, I simply do not believe you have that dog in you. I simply do not believe in you. It's fun to see Legato expressive like that.
面白いよ。どこまで耐えられる、動ける、試してみようよ。
Forcing the arm out.
とってもいい。
Ooh, the glowing purple. Now, what does that do? Is that Legato's power up? Oh, that flickering effect is so beautiful.
いいぞ、できるじゃないか。
Ooh. Okay, Trimax reference, but I actually don't give a crap because it's this child.
助かったよ。あと少しであの方の大切なものを。
Thanks for impaling me several times. I really needed that.
手駒としての自覚を持って
Ooh.
も
Now Vash, I know, can bounce back from those nails. Legato. I mean, that's a huge diameter. Okay. Oh! That was tight in every definition of the word. I like the yellow. It suits this ship far better than the teal. Oh, no, they put him in a fishbowl too. Oh. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Is his hair darker?
ニコラス・ザ・パニッシャー。神を裏切ったやつがわざわざ殺さ
Or
れ
is
て
it just the light?
ワイは誰も裏切ってへんで。
彼の言う通りだ、ブルーサマーズ。ここで暴れたりするなよ。
See, why is Conrad a more effective peacemaker than Vash?
だったら余計何しに来たのよ。
わからん。つい来てしもた。
で、あんたはまたナイブス様のために働きたくなった
Dazzy's just here to watch.
ただ見るだけ
Me too, girl. I mean, they. His boobs are so crazy. I hope he freaks out. I think Knives deserves to have a freak out. Or he can just stand there. Please freak out. Come on, Knives. Crash out of the sentry. Oh. Okay, that's fine too, I guess. Black streak in the hair. Okay.
いかにイ
And
ンディペンデン
manufacture
トとは
more
いえ
juice.
無限の力を持っているわけではない。
Stock up Wolfwood. Unless
手持ちは残り少ないだろう。無理するな。
that is what I feared.
必要な時は言ってくれ。ナイブスもバッシュも力を使い続ければ、いずれ神全体が漆黒に染まり、
死ぬんか。
生き物にとって死は必然だ。違うのはいつどのように訪れるかだけ。
Yeah, he should die already.
150年前のビッグフォールは失敗だった。今度こそ成功させてみせよう。創生をやり直すんだ。
かつて地上の人間たちは神の存在を忘れ、神
Wolfwood probably already knows this.
大洪水を起こした。
それが箱舟っちゅうわけか。
Yeah, he knows it.
生き残るのは箱舟に乗っている者たちと
プラントだけか。せやけど大洪水なんかこの星じゃ無理やろ。雨なきこの星に雨を降らせてやる。 一船籍の移民船の雨をな。
What funny body language.
僕を止めるよ。何度でも。
そうか。弟から決して目を離すな。不眠不休。
Go, my simp.
俺のそばに。バッシュ。夜明け前が一番暗い。同胞たちよ。テスラよ。俺はお前たちの力をもらい受ける。祝願を果たすために。
I'm gonna say, I think it's really weird that he's not upset that they used so many plants to bring him back. Unless he just doesn't know. Or maybe he considers his life to be worth it. But even if he does, you would think he would feel some type of way about these humans killing his sisters on his behalf. And there's been hints of it, but these plants, these girls, don't really get to be characters in the story, which is a really key thing for the end, because it's they who decide on coexistence. They override knives. And they play a very key role in not just saving humanity and choosing that coexistence, but in turning knives. And if we don't get the hive mind, all of them in his head, I fear it won't make sense for knives to make a final turn at the end. And this is a new piano solo. Or a new variation on the same theme. Oh, he has a lot more black in his hair than I thought. We get a little bit of electric guitar in the piano solo as well. Welcome to the Church of Rock and Roll. That was really gorgeous. Plenty of concept art. Chapter 7 is called The Hurt Locker, as in, like, the movie? The Jeremy Renner movie? If only there was an app I could talk about this on. Okay. Obviously, my thoughts can't be fully formed until the show itself is fully formed, but we're about halfway through. And I'm probably going to have to think a lot more about a lot of this stuff. And maybe write down some notes and come back with fully formed ideas. But you're here to hear me speak off the cuff, so I'm just going to give it a shot. And I'm going to try to explain something that's kind of been bothering me, though I haven't quite nailed it down. We're kind of all familiar, probably, with the Disney Star Wars way of doing things. Bear with me. Things are put into the sequels for you to just point and look and say, I know that guy. I like that guy. R2-D2 is here. Yippee. And it doesn't service the plot. It's literally just there for recognition. For you to say, I know that from my childhood. I'm glad to see that guy again. It's like these substanceless cameos to capitalize on people's nostalgia and love of, like, brand recognition. Trigun Stargaze isn't doing that, but it's kind of related. It's not that egregious. It's not that extreme. It's not just saying, look at this guy. You know this guy. You love this guy. Aren't you happy he's here? Money. You know, it's not that. It's not that bad. It's delivering homages and showing scenes in a cut up and reconstructed way where there's a little bit of that spark of recognition. Like, oh, I know that. That panel, I recognize that. Those things are not inherently bad, and they are fun when they pop up. But I feel that the consideration is not there. And I keep talking about, like, the weight behind things, and it's hard to articulate what that means exactly. But it's like things have become very surface level. To take, for example, the scene of Wolfwood giving Eric his gun. On paper, it's the same scene. Wolfwood has been looking for Vash for a couple of years, kept his gun all this time, and returns it to him. Vash, does the thing. We see the iconic panel or shot, and yeah, you know it. We all saw it. We all said, "Hey, look, it's that scene." But why? In Trimax, that was a heavy and significant moment for Vash because he had just been shot full of bullets and was recovering in the hospital and had been living this life of relative peace and complete anonymity for 2 years and had this family and had basically retired in this way that he thought was not an option for him. He had said before that, like, I don't get to do that. I have this burden of standing against knives, and so I don't get to just disappear and live my life. And then he did for 2 years, but that whole time he knew that it was temporary. And so Wolfwood giving him his gun back, Vash picking it up in that almost like prayerful kind of way in that panel, it's him knowing that this short, beautiful life he had is gone. And it's time to shape up, put the persona on, and go face his brother. It's totally different when Stargaze Vash, didn't have any of that context. There was no motivation. He wasn't choosing to stay out of the public eye. He wasn't given a gift of this brief life that he'd wished that he could retire to. He was comatose for all intents and purposes. So him putting Vash back on is not a sacrifice. It's not something that he grieves. Eric's in that panel is grieving, and yet he knows what he has to do. So we get a lot of these fun and iconic things, but these show writers, I think, fail to consider that it was not the fun pose or the memorable one-liner that made these scenes so great. It was the context of them within the full story. These scenes, they fell out of the coconut tree. They don't exist in the context of all that came before them. So like Elendra impaling Legato and falling on her butt and being like, ow, is a nothing burger when it's just a child's antics. Whereas reading Trimax, that was the introduction of a legendary character. We didn't know there was somebody higher in the pecking order than Legato. We're seeing, hey, this is someone who can handle him. This is someone who Knives trusts and respects. And she's a woman, and she's a trans woman, and she's scary, and she serves. So, yeah. I am very happy to see things from Trimax. I love to see the Desperado guitar case pose. It's iconic. It's fun. I love to see Wolfwood fighting Gray and Elendra handling Legato. But it's all just surface level. It's not Disney Star Wars R2-D2 cameo, because there is like a legit reason for these things to be happening in the story, but it's just not what it ought to be. Or like Wolfwood pointing his gun at Vash. He does it in this show because it's actually kind of a logical thing to do. He does it in Trimax because he's scared out of his mind, and he's angry, and he's irrational, and he's lashing out at his friend, and it's such a strong character moment because it's an opportunity to Vash for his character development, for him to stand his ground and to take that and to say, Wolfwood, this isn't you. You're hurting, and I see you, and your heart is kind, but it's afraid. That was the point of the scene. Not the fact that Wolfwood held Vash at gunpoint. It's the image of the thing without the understanding of it. Yeah, maybe that's what I've been trying to arrive at this whole time. I love Trimax so much, you guys. Don't test me, ho. I'll burst into tears right now. I've had I've had a rough week. Did y'all watch the men's figure skating free? What was that? Among other things in my personal life that I will not bore you with. I don't know. I want to see where this goes. I want it to be good. I want something to be done. Like, no matter how negative I get, I will never be able to hate Stampede and Stargaze because I just don't think I ever would have found Trigun had it not been for Trigun Stampede. And everyone's saying, like, low-key, I keep seeing this guy everywhere and thinking that he's you. Because I looked like that at the time. You know, I owe such a big debt to Trigun Stampede because I never would have read Trigun Maximum without it. And I was at a really rough time in my life. And it gave me such a creative outlet. I started making videos, I started making art again. I made friends. I I am the person I am today because of Trigun Maximum. And I read Trigun Maximum because of Trigun Stampede. I'm never going to say this shouldn't have been made. You know, I'm never going to say this sucks and I hate it. But sometimes I might say I wish it was better because I love it and I want to love it more. Thank you for watching. Especially thank you to those of you who like what's going on here with Trigun Stargaze. I know it's probably doesn't feel great to listen to me complain about it at times. But you know, I really respect people who are willing to listen to me and hear me out, even though they have very different opinions. That's a very admirable thing. That's a very healthy dialogue, you know? Your homework this week is to help someone in a way that inconveniences you. Be self-sacrificial for someone that maybe you wouldn't normally help. It's looking dismal out there. It's a hard road, but we're not going to do it alone. And remember, the world is made of love and peace.